Hare Krishna, and welcome everyone to our weekly Bhagavad Gita session. We have started discussing chapter two, the initial verses, and we'll be discussing something very significant today. So, thank you so much for removing time out of your busy schedule and joining this session. And as I always often request, this topic is Gahan, and this we hear it in association of devotees. It is impossible for anybody else to otherwise figure out what it is, what it means, and how it can ever be useful. So that therefore we have to have patience. Just like you cannot overnight become doctor or engineer or a chartered accountant or a lawyer. You need to go through the process, and that process can be painful at times, can be lengthy, and will require a lot of hard work. Uh, Spiritual knowledge is not different. It does not come cheaply. It is so it requires that extra effort. Our endeavor to ensure that we don't we keep our Sunday mornings free for studying Bhagavad Gita, for associating with devotees, for associating with Lord Krishna's and his instructions. And that is the key for success, key for progress, and key for success ultimately. And my heartfelt gratitude to all of you for doing this week after week. And we should continue to do this, and that this is what is expected, and this is what Krishna wants. This is what we should endeavor to do also. So let's begin our today's session by reminding ourselves again that we are learning Bhagavad Gita for devotional transformation. If we are not able to transform ourselves, we should be open and willing for transformation. If we wish to remain as we are, then Bhagavad Gita will not help much. We should be open for transformation. Just like patient coming to hospital should be open to get cured, should be willing to get cured, should be willing to do things that will help him get cured. If his desire is not for that transformation, then his time spent in hospital will be useless. Even if he takes a medicine, he will continue to indulge into old things, which he did, which got him into the problem in the first place. Then he may never get cured because the medicines will try to cure him, and his old habit will again drag him to the old problems. So in between, he will suffer. He will not neither be able to get cured nor will be able to enjoy the indulgences of past. So we should be ready and open for change. We should be ready and open to get transformed devotionally. This is where we are. We are not in Mumbai, Pune, or wherever you are. You're all sitting inside your homes, comforts of your homes. We are not there. We are here. This is where we are. Lord Krishna converted this battlefield into a classroom and gave a class on philosophy for all of us. So let's begin. Let's stay focused in this class on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and and listen to what Krishna has to tell to Arjuna, and through Arjuna to all of us. Let's pay attention with full focus. Where we started with the instructions, Prabhupada clarifying that you should be humble and submissive towards Lord Krishna. At least theoretically, we should accept Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead and then study Bhagavad Gita in that humble, submissive mood. Then Bhagavad Gita can be understood by us, and then Bhagavad Gita can be implemented by us. So we can get benefit out of studying Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, we'll see it in today's example. One of the example that Prabhupada gives, that is like licking honey bottle from the outside. You know there is honey inside, but you are trying to lick it from the outside. how much nectar you will get. You're not even open the cork, open the seal of that bottle, and just by seeing honey and trying to lick it from the outside, how much nectar are you going to enjoy? So it's a wasteful endeavor, and we shouldn't be doing that. We should be ready to jump inside the bottle of honey and taste it completely. So for that, if we need to be humble and submissive to Lord, so be it. And if for that it requires us to accept Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead, so be it. With that mindset, with that mentality, with that humble attitude, we should proceed to study Bhagavad Gita. This is a reminder all of us should have that we should. This is the mood in which we should approach Bhagavad Gita, in a humble, submissive mood. Dhritarashtra is inquiring, Dharmakshetra Kurukshetra, Samaveta Yotsavaha, Mamaka Pandavaschaiva Kim Kurvanta Sanjaya. The first verse of Bhagavad Gita. Then Duryodhan speaks elaborately, encouraging Dronacharya and other warriors. Then everyone starts blowing conch shells, which is indication that the war can start any moment. The war has almost started. Now just people may start shooting arrows, will just begin. And just after that, Arjuna is asking something very different. Arjuna is asking Krishna, take my chariot in between two armies. And Krishna, as a servant, just like a servant, obey or is obedient towards his master. Lord Krishna, though he is the supreme master, is acting as a servant, immediately start driving chariot and take it in between two armies. Arjuna is surrounded by doubts, fear, and confusion. Gives many reasons, speaks elaborately in chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita, and gives many reasons for not fighting. He is overcome by compassion. He is worried about sinful reactions that he may get by killing our own relatives. He is worried that these are the people whom we love so much. If they will be killed, how will I will enjoy my kingdom? And if all these men who have assembled on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, they get killed, the women and children will get exposed, will get exploited, and from that exploitation, unwanted progeny may take birth, and that progeny will not will act in a dharmic way, and they may stop even the process of offering food and water for the departed souls in the family. So this adharma, for this adharma, I will become responsible because I, for my lust for kingdom, I ended up killing everyone. So that is going to be, I may get blamed for that entirely. So this is how Arjuna starts thinking, and then he's not able to decide whether winning is important or losing is important. Is winning really important? What if I go empty handed without offering to fight and I get killed in the battlefield? What will happen to that? Will that avoid this killing, mass killing that's been arranged right now? Will then life of all these soldiers who have assembled on the battlefield, will that be saved? Can I save their life by offering myself to get killed? So Arjuna is completely bewildered. At the very crunch moment, he's about to fight the most important battle of his lifetime and of that particular era, of that particular time. But at that moment he is getting confused. He is not able to decide what to do. So what did he do? He keep aside his famous bow Gandiva. His mind bewildered. He's unable to stand even on his own feet. He sit down in the chariot and starts crying. It's not one or two drops are falling from his eyes. It is said that he's crying continuously. The flowing rivers, the tears are flowing like a river from his eyes. And he is not able to decide what is good for him. What should I do? So in that mood, he surrenders to Lord Krishna and seek for his instruction in this particular verse. Karpanya dosho pahatasva bhavaha pruchami tvam dharma samudha chetaha yat shreyah syanishchitam bruhi tanme shishyaste aham shadhi matvam prapannam. We discussed this verse in our last class. We chanted this verse and we also discussed this verse in detail. The translation says that now I'm confused about my duty. Karpanya dosho. And we discuss in detail that what do you mean by karpanya or krupana. Krupana is the word and karpanya is the way it is used in this particular verse. Krupana in general means one who is miserly, one who possesses everything but is not able to, is just lazy or not able to use, not willing to use his skills, his talent, his opulence. One may be a billionaire, but one may try to live life like a poor person, is called a miserly person. So Prabhupada compares this word miserly with something significant, that human form of life is not meant to live like animals. We have superior facility in human form of life. In human form of life, you can develop spirituality. You have far more developed consciousness using which you can decide, you can study scriptures and then decide what is good and what is not good for you. Animals do not have that capacity. So if somebody is born as a human, end up working like an animal, and perform activities that of an animal, is considered to be a miserly person. Miserly, he has so much facility but he's not able to make use of it. He's wasting it. He is wasting it. It's like getting a beautiful golden pen, and which using it for scratching your head and back. Now that is not what a pen is meant to be used for. So write something significant, write something beautiful, but this is miserly. um so Bhagavatam also says at many places that don't having got such a valuable gift of human form of life, don't just remain engaged in eating, meeting, sleeping, defending, and waste whole lifetime. Then that's a miserly. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, we discussed that don't die like cats and dogs, because eventually you will die, we will die. And if we have not pursued Krishna consciousness, if we have not inquired about where we came from, where we are going, and if we give up our body simply worrying about how much property I have accumulated, who will get what will happen to this land, this bank balances, this jewelry, and these shares that I have purchased and accumulated, who will will my children how will they fight over my property after my death, or what will happen to me if somebody leaves his body thinking about all of this, uh, then it's a opportunity wasted. It's a great waste of a golden opportunity that is presented, because using the same event, using the same opportunity, using the same incident event, one can go back to Krishna. But if one remembers Krishna at the moment of death, one will go back to Krishna. And if we end up thinking about our own material things, then we will come back to this material world. If we keep thinking about our property, our bank balance, our jewelry, our work, our shop, our factory, our home, uh, our these various unfulfilled desires, then we will definitely come back. We'll come back to this mortal world again. We will go into, we'll be forced to enter into the womb of another mother, stay there for whatever time, depending on, are we, if it's a human mother or a animal mother, and then take birth and then again go through the entire progression. The same opportunity, the same event can be used to go back to Krishna. If we have lived life properly, if we have cultivated remembrance of Krishna throughout our life, we will be able to remember Krishna at the moment of death also. And using that same event, using that same opportunity, we can go back to Krishna. Instead of that, if we utilize, if we end up thinking about own material desires and material problems, we will come back to the material world. So that is how Prabhupada explained and we discussed in our last session. Arjuna is Arjuna is confused, and Arjuna, want Krishna to dispel uh, his doubts, and therefore he's completely surrendered to Krishna, asking for instruction. Seeing this, Sanjay is explaining to Dhritarashtra in this beautiful verse that we'll chant this verse together. All of us can unmute. And you can repeat after me. I will chant each line twice, and you can repeat after me. Bhagavad-gītā 2.10 Tam uvacha ऋषिकेशः
उवाच ऋषिकेशः
Tam uvacha ऋषिकेशः
तमुवाच ऋषिकेशः
ऋषिकेश
प्रहसनिव भारत
प्रहसन्निव भारत
प्रहसनिव भारत
प्रहसन्निव
सनिव भारत
भारत
सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये
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 विषेदन्तम् इदं वच
विषिदन्तमिदं वच
विषेदन्तम् इदं वचः
विषिदन्तमिदं वचः
Thank you very much. So, O descendant of Bharata, at that time, Krishna, smiling in the midst of both the armies, spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjuna. One may wonder, they're intimate friends, and one friend is crying, one friend is reduced to tears, and seeing this, the other friend is smiling, as if smiling. Is a prasanna, prahasaniva bharata. He is as if smiling, and is in this way. Krishna is going to now begin his instructions. Prabhupada writes in the purport, the talk was going on between intimate friends, namely the Rishikesha and Gudakesha. As friends, both of them were at the same level, but one of them voluntarily became a student of the other. Krishna was smiling because a friend had chosen to become a disciple. It's very beautiful, Prabhupada, right? Why was Lord smiling? Seeing not he was not smiling, seeing his condition. He was smiling because he understood that Arjuna has now become, he's completely ready to hear to my instructions. And through Arjuna, I can use Arjuna as an instrument. I can make him as an instrument, and I can give the same instructions to the entire world, so that all of you can benefit, all of us can benefit, all the people in the Kali Yuga can benefit. So Lord is smiling for that reason. So Arjuna has got bewildered by Krishna's arrangement. So it's not that Arjuna has always been weaker. He knew the philosophy. He knew that he was close associate of Lord, and therefore Lord chooses his close associates to play part in the pastime. So, and Arjuna was playing his part to the perfection. Prabhupada write in the purport further that as Lord of all, he is always in the superior position as the master of everyone. And yet the Lord agrees to be a friend, a son, or a lover for a devotee who wants him in such a role. So, this is again a very significant statement. A devotee may desire Lord to become their child, and Lord agrees. it's not that Lord agrees, and then that's how he become child of Yashoda Maya and Nanda Maharaj, so that they can serve Lord in the Vatsalya ras. So similarly, gopis, Radharani, no, they love, they want to have loving exchange with Lord, and Lord fulfills their desires by making himself available in that particular form. so so Lord reciprocates with his devotees so that they can fulfill their desires, and Lord can also get immense pleasure from such pastimes. So that's how Lord performs Leela. We will discuss about that later while discussing Bhagavad Gita. But that's a very important concept, which if not understood correctly, can be very bewildering. And a lot of talk happens about the Leela, which are not very easy to follow. But this is what is meant to be followed. This is we are supposed to discuss those Leelas, and by discussing these pastimes, we develop affection for Lord, we develop love for God, and by performing sadhana bhakti and hearing Krishna katha, we go to God ultimately. So we can go to Krishna ultimately. So those play a very important role in the devotional service. Prabhupada write further that when he was accepted as the master, he at once assumed the role and talked with the disciple like the master, with gravity as it is required. The talk, Prabhupada says, the talk between spiritual master and disciple, a teacher and a student, is serious business. Is serious business. It can be, if it is too friendly, one may never learn. One may not be able to learn properly, and uh, so it requires certain degree of seriousness on both sides. The teacher should be serious and to teach, and the student should be serious to learn. So there is a gravity, and with that gravity, Krishna is going to speak the next verse. Let's all chant Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
श्रीभगवान् उवाच
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
श्रीभगवानुवाच
उवाच श्रीभगवान् उवाच
Yeah, you have to repeat. You have to repeat after me. Okay. Ashochan anvashocastvam.
अशोचान्वशोचस्त्वम्
Ashochan anvashocastvam.
अशोचान्वशोचस्त्वम्
Pragyavadamश्च bhasase.
यज्ञवादां च वर्तते
Pragyanvadamश्च bhasase.
प्रज्ञावादां भाषसे
Tatasuna Tatasumश्च
गतासु न गतासूनश्च
गतासनश्च
Gatasuna Gatasumश्च
गतासून गतासूनश्च
Nanu Shochanti Panditaha.
नानुशोचन्ति
अनुशोचन्ति
पंडिताः
Nanu Shochanti Panditaha.
नानुशोचन्ति
पंडिताः
पण्डितः
Thank you very much. All of you can go on mute. So the very important word here is gata asun and agata asunscha. Now, if you see, I've given the word by word translation over here, and asun, gata asun, and agata asun. Gata and agata is is lost. Gata is lost, and agata is never lost, not lost. Means, and asun means life air. Asun asun here, as it is described in here. In this particular word, asun means life air. What does it mean? Gata asuna and agata asuna means life air has passed away. Life air signifies is a symptom of life. So when a person dies, his life goes away. Now, if life air and life basically signifies uh, the asu, and this, if you add the word ra next to it, it becomes asura. And ra is enjoyment. Ra means enjoyment. So asu and ra, when you combine, you become asura. And gata asu and ra combine becomes asura. And anybody who wants to enjoy life air is defined as asura. Enjoying life air means enjoying life through the senses, using the senses. If one who tries to enjoy the body is called asura. So this is a very significant term in terms of to understand that Bhagavan is saying that gata asuna agata asunscha nanu shochanti panditaha. If you are a pandita, then you will not lament. Shochanti is lamentation. You will not lament for that. We'll see the translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. It's very significant instruction. Now Arjuna is crying just by thinking that he will have to kill his loved one. He's not killed anyone yet. His war has not yet started also. But just the thought that I will now have to pick up my bow and arrow and I'll have to start killing all these people, and many of them are my relatives, are my loved ones. Uh, that thought itself has reduced Arjuna into tears. And Krishna is now saying that while speaking learned words, you're speaking like a pandita, you're talking as if you're a pandita, but what you're talking is rubbish. What you're talking is all nonsense. And it's not worth lamenting for the body. And so let's see what Krishna has to really say. Let's deep dive into the purport of this particular verse. The Lord at once, Prabhupada writes in the purport of this verse, the Lord at once took the position of the teacher and chastised the student, calling him indirectly a fool. So that's what Prabhupada writes, that the relationship between teacher and student is not friendly. Is a grave relationship, is a serious relationship, and at times there will be chastisement that will come from teachers. And so one should, as a student, one should be willing for getting chastised, because that's an indication that your teacher is taking interest in us. Teacher want us to improve. Teacher loves us. One should see this chastisement as a loving gesture from the teacher, because teacher loves us so much that teacher does not want us to stay how we are. They want us to improve, they want us to progress. And that is the indication, that is the reason why teacher will chastise a student. And with that, so student should see this as a mercy. If you're not getting it, you should be worried why you're not getting it. Are you doing anything wrong? Have you done something that is that is that has indicated to the teacher that you are not interested in this topic at all? So there could be many ways in which this conversation can happen, but one should consider oneself fortunate if one is getting chastisement every now and then, which indicates that teacher is taking a lot of interest in you for your progress. Lord says, Prabhupada writes something very significant in this subsequent paragraph. The Lord said, "You are talking like a learned man, but you do not know that one who is learned, one who knows what is body and what is soul, does not lament for any stage of the body, neither in the living nor in the dead condition." We'll read this again and we will break this into a few points. The Lord said, Prabhupada writes in the purport, the Lord said, "You're talking like a learned man, but you do not know that one who is learned is the one who knows what is body and what is soul. And such person does not lament for any stage of the body, neither in the living nor in the dead condition." Let's unpack this statement, um, this entire statement, sentence by sentence, and see how we can practically learn, what we can practically learn out of each of these sentences. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to break this big paragraph into few sentences, and we'll try to understand what it implies and what it means. And we'll want all of you to start raising hands if you wish to speak. One who is learned is the one who knows what is body and what is soul. So Prabhupada actually gives the definition of knowledge. Who is in knowledge? One who is learned. What is our understanding of a learned person and and a person who is not learned? And what is Krishna's definition of who is learned? Yes, Lakshmi Mataji.
जिसको मतलब हम बॉडी नहीं है आत्मा है करके जो जानता है वो लर्नड पर्सन है। और जो बॉडी हम बॉडी है करके सोचते हैं मतलब भौतिक में तो हम लोग मैं लक्ष्मी हूँ या नहीं तो मैं माँ हूँ, ये सब चीजें जो होती है वो अनलर्नड पर्सन सोचता है।
Correct. So that is one way. How otherwise we think कोई learned है नहीं है? गोकुल प्रभु जी.
So our general discussion is like one who is learned. It's like we think the person who has a collector has an academic achievement may be a learned person, or a person who doesn't have an academic achievement is an illiterate, or a person who has no knowledge of learning. But in Gita, Lord Krishna advises that one who is learned is the person who can understand that the soul is eternal, where it keeps on going from body to body, like how we change new clothes, whereas a body is something that is a temporary thing that we get based on our karmic activities in our previous birth. So the soul, so a learned person understand that whatever happens in his body or around his life is nothing, since the soul is pure at all.
Okay, very nice. So anybody who possess a lot of material degrees, कोई PhD होगा, graduate होगा, double graduate होगा, but he has no knowledge about the fact that he is soul, he is not this body. Will he be considered as learned in the eyes of Krishna? Yes, Kanchan Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. So what we see in today's world is how a person behave when they are into a group, how the person can read or academics, as someone rightly said. So we feel that okay, this person is learned and other one is not learned. Whereas what Krishna is referring is whether they know how to lead a life and how to, you know, live with dharma on this planet so that we can reach back to him. Is a learning what he is talking about.
Okay, yeah, very nice. Hare Krishna. So Lord is not considering Arjuna as learned. What about us? Up till now, how do we consider ourselves as learned? Do we know and act at the level of thinking that we are soul, or we are still large, by and large, acting as a body, and sometimes remembering that we are soul. We can go to chat box and write this answer, that what, according to your assessment, are you learned or not learned? If we are able to think that we are soul and act in that remembrance, then we are learned. If we largely think that we are body, and I work at the bodily level, that I have my office, my home, my family, my uh, my need to go to beauty parlor, need to go to sports games, because of my entertainment, need to go watch a movie, go to mall. This is what our day largely comprises of. Then we are primarily functioning at a level of body, and very rarely we are thinking that we are actually soul. If it is the other way around, we can say yes, we are at the level of soul. We are thinking we are actually learned. Yeah, I'm also not learned. So we this is why we are in the Bhagavad Gita class, to learn. This, unfortunately, this education is not taught anywhere. Right from our childhood, we probably miss this part of education. We learned ABCD, we learn numbers, we learn the addition, deletion, subtraction. We learn, a lot of children are learning computer languages right from their childhood age, but this is not taught. The what is most important, that skill is not taught at all, and that's the unfortunate part. What about skills, abilities, talent, education, degrees, qualification that we possess? Is it good or is it bad? How do we look at it? We can raise hands to speak. Now, having known that all of this will be temporary, all of this will be, it will end with our body. Uh, it will be no. I do not remember whether I passed 12th standard also, or 10th standard also in my previous life. But in this life, I am a chartered accountant. But in next life, I don't know what I will become again. So, knowing the nature of this body, and the soul will continue to get another body, whatever degrees, skill, abilities, talent I may possess in this life, what do we do with those? um, yes, Atishi Ghosh, and then Kanchan Madaji.
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Uh, we have got body, and since we have got body, we know that soul is eternal, and as death comes, the soul leaves the body. But then, as long as we live, we have to continue to do our karma. So, in order to do our karma, in order to live the bodily life, in order to do the karma, continue to do our karma, these degrees and education, academic qualification, degrees, all these are important because we need to do a job in order to live a life, in order to help others, help our family members. So I think this is required as far as my knowledge is
Okay,
concerned.
yeah, very nice answer. Thank you so much, Mataji. Kanchan Mataji, you want to add
Thank
something?
you.
Ji Prabhuji, I think that whatever abilities and talents and education we do is a part of our essential part of our life, and we should do that in order to perform our duty and sustain on this planet. But at the end of the day, it is not a complete life. It is just a one part of life. But nowadays, what has happened? We have started taking education as well as our jobs, our work as a whole of life, which is very insignificant. It is just a part of life to sustain our life on this planet. Rest, we have to perform other spiritual things and rightful and duties as well towards the society, towards the welfare.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we don't have to reject dance, basically. What both of you, I think, said very, very nicely, very beautifully, that don't reject it. if you have skills, if you have talents, if you have intelligence, certain good quality of intelligence, use it to create a nice comfortable life for yourself. Because if you have a life of 80 years, you will have to live for 80 years. You will have to, you're allowed to create a decent comfortable facility for yourself for those 80 years, to take care of those 80 years. But this should not become your life. Even you shouldn't get engrossed in these things so much that you forget your soul and you have to perform devotional service also. If that happens, then we have goofed up big time. So we these skills exist, these skills, intelligence is all given by Krishna, and we should use it to create a life comfortable for us to practice devotional service. Our goal should be to practice devotional service. Dharma should lead to should lead to devotional service. Artha should also lead to devotional service. Dharma and artha, by superior knowledge, by our superior intelligence, superior knowledge should not lead to superior sense gratification. The artha should not get diverted or good get only consumed in the sense gratification. If that happens, then we have goofed up big time. So these things are there, and we should not reject them, but we should utilize them for cul- for creating a comfortable facility for us to practice devotional service. So dharma, the education, should lead to devotional service. The artha, the whatever we earn out of it, should also result into, should lead us to the devotional service. And ultimately everything can be used for devotional service. All our skills and talents and abilities and education, everything can be ultimately used for devotional service at an advanced stage, where we use these skills for Krishna. Today we use these skills for earning earning Lakshmi to maintain our family members. But at some later stage, we should utilize all of these skills only for service of Krishna. So that is a proper purification of our abilities and skills and intelligence. And at the same time, we are continuing with our progress in the Krishna consciousness as well. Another important statement in this is about body. Does not lament, Prabhupada write in the purport, that does not lament, the one who is learned, who knows the difference between body and soul, who knows what is temporary, what is eternal. And knowing that soul is anyway eternal, he does not lament for any stage of the body, neither in living nor in the dead condition. How do we understand this statement? Yeah, you can all raise hands. How can we understand this statement? One does not lament for any stage of the body, neither in living nor in the dead condition. What is the practical application for us of this statement? Gokul Prabhuji, yes.
Prabhuji, when it comes like does not lament for any stage of the body, neither in living nor in the dead condition, in a sense, it completely tells about the soul, like because soul is completely eternal. So the person who is well learned or something, he has nothing to do with the body. He knows all the things like the birth, death, disease, or the old age. Everything has to do with the body, but nothing it has to do with the soul. So this person is completely not disturbed by any of these four factors.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Jagdish Prabhuji?
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. What I mean with this statement is that don't comment or criticize the body. Take the good things from the soul. Maybe go for positive things and don't worry about the body. Worry about his good characteristics. Hare Krishna, sir.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Kanchan Mataji.
We should not lament about because we should believe that we are soul, we are eternal, we are not going to die. Number one, and we have a temporary life, whether it is a living thing or non-living thing. Everything is just temporary. It is just a passage of life from one end to another, and we are here to attain our eternal goal. So we should focus on that instead of getting through the maya of falling into attraction to anybody living or non-living thing.
Okay. Sanjeev Prabhuji and then Vikas Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, this sentence essentially means that, a body is like the dress. So any stage of the body is like the dress, new or getting old, or finally it's discarded. And so long the soul is there, the body is there, the dress is there. The moment the soul leaves the body has no value, just like you discard an old dress. So you should understand that fact and not lament for the body at any stage.
So yeah, very nice points I think you brought. It could be at any stage. Any stage, you think of any stage, it could be you could be young, could be old, could be male, could be female. So there is nothing to lament about the body. Vikas Vaji, what's your thoughts?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. First, I just wanted to mention that Anjani Rao Mataji has also raised hand hopefully
Yeah,
in the
yeah, please,
message
please go
shared
ahead.
first.
Okay, okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Anjani Rao Mataji. Yeah, more voices. Yes, we want to definitely hear more voices.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji and Hare Krishna everybody. I feel that what it says is learn to love your body whatever it is. Do not compare it with anyone else, and whatever you have, whether you have good health, whether you have bad health, whether you have good looks, bad looks, do not feel that this is something I didn't want and I got. Learn to love it, accept it, and be happy with it. And
Okay.
so,
Yeah. Yeah, that's thank you so much, Mataji. So do not compare and feel sad about it. That's another way we lament for body, and yeah, no need to do that. Usha Mataji. Usha's iPad and then Madhu. Can you unmute Mataji?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
I often analyze my life and the life of people around me, and I have come to the conclusion that what is in our hands is to do our best effort to have a sound mind and a sound body, do everything possible towards that end. But then ultimately, you have to accept what is going on in your life, because I feel things are quite programmed already. They're pre-programmed. So you just learn to accept it instead of saying that, somebody else is better off with even less effort and I'm not so good even with all my effort. It doesn't really work that way. So there is some karma which we bring forward in this life. So what is most important is that to keep God in the center of all our thoughts, and that ask him to do your margadarshan, but you do your best to live your life, so that you channel your energy in the creative direction, with bharosa only on God. Everything else, everybody else acts the way they have been programmed already to do it. So your saying good or bad is not going to change anybody. It doesn't even change oneself, I have seen.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mataji. Vikas Vaji, you want to go last?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. So, in analyzing this statement that does not lament, this is it's rather very heavy statement, because till the time one doesn't become learned, he cannot mix. Till the time we are on this bodily platform, we definitely lament for that. So, how to overcome it? How to analyze? So, there are so many situations happening in our day-to-day activities, day-to-day life. So, to that, when we analyze that, ultimately this is connected with my bodily platform only, and when we come up with that equipoiseness in a gradual way, then we can understand this statement in crux that we will not be lamenting in any stage which are related to body. Whether it is the like death of our near and dear ones, we can just consider it a progressive journey, as Bhagavad Gita teaches us. And in our life as well, that in the living state of us, so many miserable situation or happy situation may come, and we can understand it that this is just the outcome of my fruitive activities, and this has got nothing to do with my soul journey. Hare Krishna, Guruji. Dandavat Pranam.
Yeah, very nice thoughts. Lord says, does not lament. but don't say does not care for body. What should we learn from this statement? Should I use anti-aging cream? Should I go to exercise? Should I do exercises to keep my body healthy? Should I do my part to, should I, if I'm not able to see, should I purchase specs and so that my vision improves? Should I take care of my body? Should I take bath every day? Or if my body is completely so useless, what is where is the bifurcation between lamentation and becoming responsible towards our body? What is the instruction here?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, that voice has gone a bit low in the last statement
Is it
itself.
okay?
Hare
My
Krishna.
question is clear. I hope that Krishna doesn't say do not lament, but he said doesn't he's not said that do not care for your body. What should we learn out of this? Where is is there a midway, or uh, how we can apply this in our life? um, so, yes, I think Gokul Prabhuji will start with you, then Usha Mataji and Lakshmi Mataji and Sanjeev Prabhu. Yes, Gokul Prabhuji, you can speak.
So it's like the Lord say, does not lament, don't say, does not take care of a body, but what should we learn from there? So it's like, particularly like when the Lord is saying that the soul is eternal, and yet we also know that soul is eternal, but our body keeps changing. But we we should also take care of our body, since as long as our soul is there with us, our body will also be there. But once the soul leaves the body is no more going to be functioning. So it's like how much we take care of our soul, we should also take care of our body.
Okay, yeah, we should take care of our body. Maybe Prabhuji is saying as much as we take care of our soul, we should take care of our body. Any other thoughts, Usha Mataji? Uh, or we can go to Lakshmi Mataji. Mata, you can unmute and then we can speak after Lakshmi Mataji. Yes, Mataji, yeah, you are unmuted. Please speak.
Okay. I feel body is very important because only in body you can worship God. So it's very important you take care of the body, but not, I mean, this is my personal view, not do exercise, do ghar ka kaam, keep yourself active, do good reading or whatever, mentally and physically keep yourself active, but not to take resort to all these anti-aging cream and stuff like that, because if you are doing your work and your duty properly, you just remain youthful. That's my experience. You just look youthful, that's it, and you feel good and you feel fit in your body, and you need a fit body and mind to think of God, even to pray to him and then thank him every day, not just for giving you such a healthy and positive attitude, but he's the one who finally decides everything. I mean, you can only try your best to keep yourself healthy mentally and physically, but he has the last laugh. It's not in your hands, it's all in his hands, but God helps those who help themselves. So even as you are mindful that you are soul and you're going to leave this body one day, and I don't know, hopefully not come back again into another body, but it's not, everything is not in your hands. You can only take care of the body the natural way, by doing your exercise and doing yoga, and keeping your thoughts positive and reading good books, stuff like that. That's my experience. I'm talking out of experience. Thank you.
Okay. Lakshmi Mataji, you want to go next? Yes, Mataji.
Leave. जब तक हमारा बॉडी स्वस्थ नहीं रहेगी, तो हम कृष्णा कॉन्शियस में एक्ट नहीं कर पाएंगे, और उसका तो मतलब जो भी काम हम करेंगे तो हमारा बॉडी स्वस्थ रहना चाहिए और स्वच्छ भी रहना चाहिए। तभी तो हम लोग कृष्णा कॉन्शियस में जा सकते हैं। जब तक हम कृष्णा कॉन्शियस में जाएंगे तो हमारा बॉडी अगर हम लोगों को हेल्प नहीं करेगी तो हम कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते हैं। इसलिए इस वर्ल्ड में एक्चुअली हम लोगों को तो मेन हम लोग का बॉडी का ऊपर भी उतना ही ध्यान देना चाहिए जितना सोल का ऊपर है।
Okay. Deepshikha Mataji, and then Anurag Verma.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes,
I,
Mataji.
I feel that soul stays and resides, lives within us, in our body. And we have to keep ourselves physically fit, mentally agile, and keep ourselves clean so that our soul gets happy inside and we can take the God's name. If we are happy, then I think our soul is also happy inside. And that is what then we can keep our God also, means God is also happy with us. That is what we feel.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Last comment, Anurag, then we can have a couple of more statements, so more opportunity to speak. Anurag Verma.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Krishna.
What I understand is basically human form has been given after lot many forms of life by Krishna Prabhuji. So the basic duty of us is to take good care of this body, but Krishna himself says that your duty is to put in the efforts to the best extent possible. Leave the result to me. So if at all the body, even after putting your efforts, does not augur well after some time, it is more so the will of Lord that he wants now the things to change into a different condition. So we have to do our duty to take care of our body as long as possible, but also keep this in mind that the efforts putting is in our hand, the result is in Lord's hands. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very nice. Let's move forward. Krishna says, don't lament, but what about liking, loving, appreciating the body? Is there a problem with that? Can we romanticize our bodies? Somebody can be very good looking. Somebody can have a lot of skills, lot of talent. Somebody's voice can be very beautiful. Somebody can have very artistic qualities. Somebody can have some sporting talent. Somebody can be extremely intelligent, very sharp, very lot of analytical skills. Can we not glorify, appreciate, and start liking and loving our bodies? Somebody may have very beautiful eyes, somebody may have very nice hairs. In the youth, we have youth icons, we have stars, Bollywood, Hollywood stars. What is the problem in this statement? Yes, Swapnil Prabhuji and Radha Mataji and Jagdish Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Actually, I raised the hand for
The previous
previous.
one. Oh, yeah, we can comment on this, or you can pass on to Jagdish Prabhuji or Radha Mataji.
Hare Krishna,
Okay.
sir.
Yes, Prabhuji.
What I mean by this is, body is like a uniform. Okay, uniform has to be kept clean. Uniform has to be admired, respected, loved, and all these things. Like you have in uniform for the Army, Navy, Air Force, we make sure that the uniforms are always kept up to date, and that increases your aura and finally leads to the purity of the soul.
Okay, yeah, nice perspective. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Yes, Radha Mataji.
यस प्रभु जी। सबसे पहले तो बॉडी जो है वो हम सबको पता है कि वो टेम्पररी है। एक ना एक दिन अगर आप खूबसूरत है या फिर अगर आप आपकी पर्सनालिटी अच्छी है तो वो सब एक ना एक दिन जाने वाला है। कुछ भी परमानेंट नहीं है। और दूसरी बात कि हमको जो भी दिया है वो भगवान ने दिया है, तो वो हमें कभी भी नहीं भूलना चाहिए। अगर हम वो भूल जाएंगे तो हमको एक ईगो आ जाएगा, एक अपनी बॉडी के लिए एक मोह हो जाएगा कि ये नहीं जा। अभी एक एक्ट्रेस की मौत हुई, हमने देखा, वो यही एग्जाम्पल पे सेट होता है कि उसको यंग दिखना था, उसको कभी भी बूढ़ा नहीं होना था। उसकी वजह से वो जो भी इंजेक्शन ले रही थी अल्टीमेटली उसी के लिए उसकी मौत हो गई। तो कहीं ना कहीं हमारा भी माइंडसेट उस तरफ चला जाएगा। तो हमें ये कभी भी नहीं भूलना चाहिए कि बॉडी तो सुंदर अगर भगवान ने दी है तो वो एक ना एक दिन जाने वाली है। वो कोई ऐसी चीज नहीं है। पर इम्पोर्टेंट है अगर हम अपनी सोल को ठीक रखें, अपनी सोल को पवित्र रखें, जो हमारी सोल है उसको क्लीन रखें, तो खूबसूरती ऑटोमेटिक अंदर से आएगी.
Well, very nice example. I knew that example had. I thought probably it will pop up in today's discussion, but thank you for bringing it up. Madhu Mataji and Sulekha Mataji, last two comments. Uh,
Hello,
Madhu,
Prabhuji.
yes, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. I agree with the other sister, Prabhuji. Same thought I had. So somewhere I read that if you want to get closer to the God, then you will have to keep your soul pure. You have to correct things inside. So it automatically reflects outside. So we need not concentrate on outer this thing. We have to correct from inside. So like giving auto suggestions, like what mistakes we are doing, correct, making corrections. So God wants us to be go pure. Who is pure from inside will be next to God.
Okay. Thank you so much. Sulekha Mataji, Angaraj Prabhuji, last comment.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी. प्रभु जी कृष्णा के 6 एपुलेंसेस है कि ऑल सुंदर है, स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट है, एवरीवेयर प्रेजेंट है. तो हम जब किसी को देखते हैं तो हाँ, किसी के आंखें सुंदर है, कि कोई पर्सनालिटी अच्छी है या फिर कोई स्किल है, तो वो कृष्णा का ही अपीलेंस है. इस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से हम देखेंगे तो इट इज गुड. बट हम कृष्णा को नजरअंदाज करके सिर्फ देखेंगे कि हाँ ये बहुत अच्छा खेलता है, इसकी आंखें बहुत सुंदर है, तो वी विल गेट एंटेंगल इन द मोड्स ऑफ नेचर. सो मुझे लगता है कृष्णा के पर्सपेक्टिव से हम देखें तो इट इज गुड
Okay.
टू सी लाइक दैट.
Yeah.
थैंक
Thank
यू
you so
वेरी
much.
मच.
Angaraj Prabhuji, last comment.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam. Prabhuji Mataji brought in the beautiful point I want to explain. Prabhuji, by this statement I understand that Prabhuji, if in connection with the Lord we are appreciating the beauty of our body, then it is fine. But there is a limitation because we are the ignorant living being, because we cannot see beyond 2 or 3 layers, because we get perception or we get knowledge from the shastras that everything is working under the control of the Lord, but we cannot see directly these things. But ultimately, things are working under the control of the Lord, but we cannot perceive it directly. So, believing on the by by trusting on the shastras or putting our belief, we should believe that the directly or indirectly things are working under the Lord. It is the spark of the Lord, due to which the things are appearing very beautiful, or things are looking favorable to our senses. So things are appearing favorable or unfavorable. It depends on the our modes of nature, how we perceive, or there are a lot of things which matters during this perception, because there are modes of nature, our senses are also there, because in different living beings there are different senses. So each living being perceive the things very differently, or we perceive the things very differently. So there are the different things involved. So directly we should try to conceive everything in connection with Lord, whether it is very good or whether it is very bad. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Yeah, that's a very nice statement from an advanced devotee, which is, but just to take a step backwards, there's a beautiful Vaishnava song, Bhajahu Re Mana Shri Nanda Nandana. And in that, there is one beautiful sentence that comes that Durlabha Manusha Janama Satsange Tarah E Bhava Sindhure. It says that Durlabha Manusha Janama Satsange. The Manusha Janama, if you think about what do you really mean by Manusha Janama, means human form of life. Now, in English, it can be translated as human form of life. Any human form of life is nothing but a soul residing inside a human body. As long as soul is residing inside a human body, it is called Manusha Janama, or human being, human form of life. The moment soul leaves that body, it becomes dead body. So this body is also extremely important. extremely important for us to do what? Durlabha Manusha Janama Satsange. To do satsang, to perform devotional service, we have to utilize the same body, the same senses we have to utilize. With the same eyes, we can see the beautiful form of Lord. We can see devotees. We can visit Vrindavan. We can visit Mayapur Dham. By same eyes, we will see this beauty of Lord. So, using the same ears, we will hear Krishna Katha. We can hear Krishna Katha. We can hear Krishna's Kirtan. Just using the same hands and legs, we can dance by raising these hands. We can dance in the Kirtan, and we can sing in the Kirtan. Using the same tongue, we can taste Krishna Prasad. So, and by performing all these activities, Janama Satsange Taraha E Bhava Sindhure. Taraha E Bhava is a swim over the Sindhu ocean of material existence. So this body is considered to be extremely critical. It's a tool given to us by Krishna. No matter if we are in male body or female body, it doesn't matter if we are in American body or Indian body. As long as we are awakened to the Krishna consciousness, from then onwards, this same body can be used as a tool to go back to Krishna, and hence that body has to be taken care of. We will grow old. We don't have to lament, worry about growing old. But we have to still make sure that we remain healthy as much as we can. And after that, even despite of all our efforts, if we face health issues, so be it. As Anurag Prabhuji and many of you beautifully mentioned, I'm just summarizing it. It's all your thoughts and very nicely put forward. And so all we have to do is try our best to take care of our health in such a way that we can concentrate on performance of devotional service. We don't get caught up in our body. We don't get caught up in our body. Just like if you go to Kolkata, get admission there. There will be canteen. You'll need to eat food, breakfast, lunch, dinner thrice a day, and there will be some facility to sleep. If you get too much caught up in eating and sleeping, and you forget to study, you don't focus on study, and you fail in the exam, that's not considered to be very intelligent action. You need to eat. Of course, you will stay in the campus for 2 years, 3 years. You need to eat during that time, but you don't get caught up in that eating. You need to sleep. You need proper rest, but you don't get too much caught up in facilities, creating facilities for sleeping. Your concentration, your focus should always be on studying and passing in the exam so that you go out of that college. So these things are important, but not all important. We don't have to blow them out of proportion. Their importance is there, but ultimately your ultimate aim is to get out of that institute. And for that, passing is important. For that, studying is important. So to study, to pass exam and go out of the college, to achieve this ultimate goal, these things will be useful. You will have to eat, you will have to sleep, but don't get caught up in doing these activities so much so that you forget to study and you fail in the exam. That will be kripana is like miserly activity of it's like a wasted opportunity. That's what we will call a person goes to IIM and fail. uh, you need to be a very bright student in order to go to IIM, and but there, after going there, if you only remain caught up in eating and sleeping and forget to study and fail in the exam, it will be considered as an wasted opportunity, not a very intelligent choice. So that is the example we should remember in order to understand how much importance we should give to our body. And how much importance we should give to our cultivation of spirituality, devotional service. So ultimately, devotional service will get us out of this world, and body will enable us to perform that devotional service. So both are important, but devotional service definitely should be important. So even if Prabhupada used to say that somebody some people, devotees in early days used to write letters to Prabhupada that I'm fallen sick and I'm now been admitted in the hospital. And Prabhupada used to say that now you have all the time in the world, chant Hare Krishna. So even if body is breaking down, you still perform devotional service. It's not an excuse not to perform devotional service. That is the difference. It's not that you will do japa only when your body is all right. Even if it is not all that, you should still perform devotional service. You should still try to remember Krishna. When you will die, we will die, our bodily organs will break down. One after another, various closures will happen of our bodily organs. So all of that process will definitely be more painful, extremely painful. So, but we still have to remember Krishna at that moment. That's the exam. That's the examination that we all have to appear for. So despite of bodily discomfort, we still need to cultivate remembrance of Krishna. It's not that when I'm perfectly healthy, I will remember Krishna, or else I will just get caught up in fixing my body. You will not be able to fix your body beyond a point. It is going to fail. It is going to break down. And when that will happen, you still need to remember Krishna. So we need to prioritize things in such a way. We have to understand this in such a way that we have to remember Krishna in all condition, healthy condition, young condition, old condition, while in female body, while in male body, while in Indian body or American body, and go back to Krishna. So that will enable us to go back to Krishna. Everything else, is enabler, not the end by itself. Prabhupada writes in the purport that as explained in the later chapters, it will be clear that knowledge means to know matter and spirit and the controller of both. As he did not happen to be a very learned man, he was consequently lamenting for something which was unworthy of lamentation. The body is born and is destined to be vanquished today or tomorrow. Therefore, the body is not as important as the soul. One who knows this is actually learned, and for him there is no cause for lamentation, regardless of the condition of the material body. Beautiful verse. We'll discuss this. Let's chant 2.12. Natvam natve natvevaham jatu nasam.
न
नत्वेहमहं
त्वेवहं
जातु
जातु
नासम्
नासम्
Natvevahamjatu nasam.
नत्वेवाहं जातु
जातु
नासम्
नासम्
Natvam neme janadhipaha.
न
न
त्वं
त्वं
नेमे
नेमे
जनाधिपः
जनाधिपः
Natvam neme janadhipaha.
न त्वं
न त्वं
नेमे
नेमे
जनाधिपः
जनाधिपः
Na chaiva na bhavishyamaha.
न चैव न भविष्यामः
Na chaiva na bhavishyamaha.
न
न
चैव
चैव न
न भविष्यामः
भविष्यामः
Sarve vayam atah param.
सर्वे
सर्वे
वयम्
वयम् अतः परम्
Sarve vayam atah param.
सर्वे
सर्वे वयम्
वयम्
अतः
अतः
परम्
Tomorrow you have a holiday.
Thank you so much. So Krishna is now begin his instruction. Krishna is saying, never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. Natva natva eva aham jatu nasam. And natvam neme janadhipa. Janadhipa means all these kings, jana adhipai, the the representatives of the people, that other kings. Na chaiva na bhavishyamaha. Now not in past nor in future. Sarve vayam atah param. They will all cease to exist. So they will continue to exist. So in future also, none of us will cease to be, which means they will continue to exist. Let's see the purport. It is said that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the maintainer of innumerable living entities in terms of their different situations, according to the individual work and reaction of work. Often people ask this question: why am I born poor? Why am I born rich? So Prabhupada writes that Supreme Personality of Godhead is the maintainer of everyone from ant, elephant to king to a poor person. He's maintainer of everyone. He's giving everything. He's allocating everything to everyone. Now, basis what he does it according to the individual work and reaction of work. According to the individual work and the reactions of work, he's maintaining everyone. He's giving different type of bodies to everyone. He's giving different type of living conditions to everyone. So this is the basis. Prabhupada writes further that Supreme Personality of Godhead is also by his plenary portions alive in the hearts of every living entity. Krishna lives in our heart as Paramatma, as Kshirodakshai Vishnu, and that in he's closest to us. There is a soul and there is a super soul. No other person in this world can be as close to us as Krishna is, because he's literally present next to us. And that soul, super soul, is waiting for soul to turn to him. And but the soul is busy eating fruits, uh, developing multiple desires, and is not paying attention to the super soul. But Krishna is witnessing every thought of that's arising in our mind, every desire that is produced by our mind. Krishna is a witness, he's sakshi, and he's overseeing every all the activities happening inside us, and he's sanctioning some, he's not sanctioning some other, and according to his sanctions material nature is executing and the things happen in our life, and we think we are doing those things, unfortunately. So so Krishna is living inside the heart of every living entity. Only saintly persons who can see can actually attain to perfect and eternal peace. So for peace, one should see this. Those who do not have peace of mind, they have no knowledge about soul and body. The Lord says clearly that He Himself, Arjuna, and all the kings who are assembled on the battlefield are eternally individual beings, and that the Lord is eternally their maintainer of the individual living entities, both in their condition and in their liberated situations. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Supreme Individual Person, and Arjuna, the Lord's eternal associate, and all the kings assembled there are individual eternal persons. It is not that they did not exist as individuals in the past, and it is not that they will not remain eternal persons. Their individuality existed in the past, and their individuality will continue in the future without interruptions. Therefore, there is no cause for lamentation for anyone. So, Krishna is bringing out another point that all these living entities are, Krishna says in 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, that these are my separate mamaiv ansho, these are my anshas. Mamaiv ansho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. The same point Krishna says in the 15th chapter, that these are my separated fragmented portions, anshas, and they are there, like they will remain ansha for sanatana, for eternity, for they will always remain my ansha. They will not become one with me. It's not that we all will join together and will become one big whole. They will continue to be individual particles, even in condition stage, when you are living life in the material world or in the liberated situation. When you go back to the spiritual world, you will retain your individuality, and Krishna will reciprocate with you, each one of us, individually. Personally, we will have something to offer to Krishna, and Krishna will have something to reciprocate with us. This will be unique relationship we both will have with each other, and that is true for each and every soul. And that is why Krishna is God, because he can reciprocate perfectly with each individual soul. He has a relationship with each soul, and he can be present with each and every soul whether they are in man's body, ant's body, elephant body, or a worm in the stool's body. Wherever there is a life, there is Krishna present, and Krishna is reciprocating with each devotee. So our individuality is not lost. Sakhas in Vrindavan are individual, and gopis are also individual. Each There are millions of sakhas and millions of gopis, and each gopi has a unique relationship with Krishna, and she thinks that Krishna is only with her. And each gopa, when they sit for vana bhojan, they think Krishna is sitting next to them only, and there are not hundreds, there are millions of gopas present there, and Krishna is actually present with each and every one of them. And they think that they are feeding into Krishna's mouth the tiffin, and Krishna is feeding his tiffin into their mouth, and they are laughing, and they're joking, and they're talking, and they're playing with each other. So they all experience as if they are having a unique personal interaction with Krishna, and all of them feel that way simultaneously. Now this is omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent nature of Krishna. Omniscient means he knows everything. Omnipotent means he can do anything, and omnipresent means he is present everywhere. So this is why Krishna becomes God. So this individuality existed in past, it is exists today, and in future also it will continue to exist. Prabhupada gives a counter argument that the Mayavadi theory is something similar to what is propagated by Islam and Christianity. That Mayavadi theory that after liberation, the individual soul separated by the covering of Maya or illusion will merge into the impersonal Brahman and lose its individual existence is not supported herein by Lord Krishna, the supreme authority. Prabhupada calling Lord Krishna as the supreme authority. And what verdict Krishna has given, he's 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 narrating that Krishna is not supportive of of the opinion that we will all become one. It's not the case. We will remain separate. Krishna will be separate, you will be separate, and you will have loving exchange with each other. so so that is the verdict Krishna has given, being the supreme authority. Nor is the theory, the alternate theory, Guru Prabhupada talks about that, nor is the theory that we only think of individuality in the conditioned state and supported herein. Because Krishna very clearly says that in future also, even if you get liberated, you will be individual, you will retain your individuality. Krishna clearly says herein that in the future also, the individuality of the Lord and others, as it is confirmed in this Upanishad, will continue eternally. This statement of Krishna is authoritative because Krishna cannot be subject to illusion. Krishna affirms his individuality in the past, confirms his individuality in the future also. He's confirmed his individuality in many ways, and impersonal Brahman has been declared to be subordinate to him. Krishna has maintained spiritual individuality all along. If he is accepted as the ordinary conditioned soul, in individual consciousness, then his Bhagavad Gita has no value as authoritative scripture. Prabhupada is saying, bringing up a very different point, that a lot of people think Krishna to be an ordinary human being, just another human being, and born out of his own karmic reactions. ठीक है, उनको थोड़ा मैजिक वैजिक आता था, but it's not a great personality. He is not supreme personality of Godhead. He is ordinary. Now, the problem with ordinary person is that, Prabhupada write further that अगर वो ऑर्डिनरी पर्सन मान लिया उनको है, तो देन ही कैनॉट क्रिएट authority. There is no authority associated with the ordinary person. धर्मम तो साक्षात भगवत प्रणीत, जो भगवान बोलते हैं वो धर्म होता है. If an ordinary person speak anything, that is just becomes his opinion. And that need not really carry any value. But we understand that Bhagavad Gita has immense value. Whatever is written in Bhagavad Gita is applicable, was applicable 5,000 years ago, is applicable today. And by understanding that, we knew that it will always remain applicable to the eternity. Now, how can an ordinary person speak a knowledge that is of such significance? It is not possible. So Krishna, Bhagavad Gita definitely has authoritative scripture it is, and it cannot be produced, cannot be uh, spoken by an ordinary person. Why? Prabhupada explains further. A common man with all the four defects of human um, is unable to teach that which is worth hearing. A common man with all the four defects of human frailty is unable to teach that which is worth hearing. So, whatever common man speaks really is not worth hearing. It could be his opinion, it could be meaningful also, but unless it is based on Bhagavad Gita, it is not worth hearing. So, the Gita is above such literature. No mundane book compares with the Bhagavad Gita. When one accepts Krishna as an ordinary man, the Gita loses all its importance. All importance. So Prabhupada is saying Bhagavad Gita is important. Why? Because it is spoken by Lord Krishna, who is not an ordinary person, who is not subjected to the four defects that humans have. We'll talk about those in short while. It is clearly mentioned in many places in Gita that this spiritual individuality is understood by those who are devotees of the Lord. Those who are envious of Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead have no bona fide access to the great literature. The non devotee's approach to the teachings of Bhagavad Gita is something like that of a bee licking on a bottle of honey. One cannot have the taste of honey unless one opens the bottle. Similarly, the mysticism of Bhagavad Gita can be understood only by devotees, and no one else can taste it, as it is stated in the fourth chapter of this book. The four defect, the six blind men and one wise man story. Uh, we just take a couple of comments. Can somebody explain this story very, very briefly? It's a famous incident. Somebody who has not spoken so far can raise hand. Oh. Yes, Usha Madaji. Yeah, Mataji, you can unmute and speak. I just saw your hand first, so I'm hoping you can explain. I'll just click further so that you will see.
Okay. So six blind men, they actually look at they just feel an elephant because they cannot look. They're just feeling an elephant. So the first person, he feels the trunk and he says, "My God, the elephant is like a serpent." And another one feels the tail and he says, "The elephant is like a rope." And then somebody feels the leg of the elephant, says it looks like a barrel. And the fourth person, he feels the ears and he says, "Oh, this is like a fan." And somebody feels the body, he says, "Oh, it is so big and hunky." So while all of them are partially right, because the elephant has all these parts which look like this thing, but then the one wise person, he knows that everybody is correct in part, but as a whole they are wrong, because an elephant encompasses all these features and it's much bigger than all this various parts that have been described by the various blind people.
Okay, yeah, very nice. Vivek Prabhu, you want to add something?
Yeah, basically, whenever everybody is looking at things on his experience, and whatever limited experience is there, they look at the things not in the entirety or the wholesome way, looking at perpetual small focus aperture of his own experience. That's why the things get blurred. But a wise man is keeping himself distant, and from he has the holistic view of the things. So he will have a completely different approach.
Yeah, very nicely put. Thank you so much, Roji. So yeah, I mean, very rightly said by both. How do we learn really? Let's talk about that. This is, we speak about this in our introduction classes, but it's always good to remember all of this. There are three ways of gaining knowledge. There is a pratyaksha pramana, there is a anuman pramana, and there is a shabda pramana. Pratyaksha praman is a direct experience. Direct experience, like seeing is believing. Anuman has some inference, some estimation involved. Maybe it is like this, maybe it is like that. Some extrapolation is there. And Shabda Praman is accepting words from the authority as a pramana or as the final verdict. Let's analyze some of these more. The four defect that keep us in illusion, while we may use any of these method, we will still use our own senses to perceive reality, to learn something. And the four defect that we possess, they continue to keep us in illusion. The first defect we have is we have imperfect senses. um, our eyes can see only a particular range. Our ears cannot hear what a dog can hear. So our senses are not really perfect or not really the best. Second is it that leads to illusion. If we are say our senses are not perfect, what we see things are not our seeing, hearing, and our sense perception can lead us to illusion. um, the third problem with this is, because we get into illusion, we will end up making mistakes, we commit mistakes. And to cover up those mistakes, we tend to cheat, we try to cheat. There's a tendency to cheat inside all of us. So we have imperfect senses that leads us to illusion, getting illusioned. In while acting in illusion, we make a lot of mistakes, and to cover up those mistakes, we try to cheat others. So this is where we are. Whatever we will learn out of this will remain imperfect, because our sadhanas are imperfect, are not correct. So pratyaksha pramana, let's see, direct perception. The apparent meeting. Now we have all kind of problems. The refraction. We will, even if we consider seeing as believing, it doesn't really help us. Mirage. We see there is water, but there is no water there. Distorted reflections. Is seeing is believing true? Yes and no. We cannot acquire complete knowledge using our material senses like eyes, ears, etc. Going forward, the solution for one problem becomes another bigger problem. Can we think of any such examples, one or two examples, that which we tried finding a solution and which ended up becoming a bigger problem than the original problem itself? Can somebody think of a quick example? Yes, Anurag Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Mobility was a major problem that mankind felt. So they discovered steam engine and fossil fuel and all that. But eventually, what we are finding is although we got mobility, but it is harming the climate and the environment.
Okay, we've achieved mobility and we have destroying our climate and environment in the process. Yes,
Yes.
Gokul Prabhuji.
Like in general one, I can show is like give an example to show So, for example, when we take our human life, we do something in our life. So, for example, today we are buying a normal nano car, and next, so when we see our friend having a better car, like for example, he's having a Benz. So next we think, oh, we need to compete with this guy. So we doesn't think of a financial budget. So we next go for an EMI. So once we take up EMI, we think we need to get a better job to buy this to pay for this car. So if we don't pay on time, next our vehicle will be seized. So similar to that, so for example, when we are doing something that is out of our limit to satisfy ourselves, the next definitely a simple problem goes for a very big problem, like similar to the car. So once we couldn't pay the EMI, we have to sell all of our things to pay and make sure the car is with us.
So the original problem become bigger problem. Vikas Soji, you have any thoughts? Quick comment.
Hare Krishna, Guruji, Dandavat Pranam. It was about like technology means they invented a while back, around 2 decades back, this plastic bag, and now this has become a big burden for them, and they are finding solution that how to get rid of this plastic, this pollution. Hare Krishna, Guruji.
So if you think about everything that we have, I think is becoming a bigger problem. You know, we have a communication as a problem. We invented telephone, now we invented mobiles. So the mobiles have become a problem. The internet was considered to be the one of the biggest invention of our time, and it facilitated so many things. Now the same internet is becoming a bigger problem because now it's using the same internet. It's got into the wrong hands and creating havoc in the lives of youth. So whatever we can think of ultimately is actually leading us to a problem rather than a solution. So half knowledge is dangerous and we need absolute full knowledge. With dollars in pocket, surrounded by luxuries and comforts, all we find ourselves in stress and depression. Where is happiness? Why are we are comfortably miserable? Some people can be miserable, can lead a miserable life in slums, and some people can be miserable in palaces. Surrounded by all the luxuries and best of facilities, best of bed, but no sleep because of anxiety, depression, and mental health issues. So why are we not being feel able to feel happy? We can neither get complete knowledge by pratyaksha and anuman praman. We cannot get. Not that these are not important. No, they have their own utility. For example, when Lord Ramachandra wanted to search Sita, he sent Hanuman, and Hanuman actually went. He personally went in. So that is a pratyaksha praman example of how pratyaksha praman was utilized. So he didn't just keep extrapolating, keep guessing, or so he had to personally go and get things done. So the Pratyaksha Praman definitely is helpful, has its own utility. Anuman also has its utility. And but they are not the complete source of knowledge. They are supportive, but not the principal source of knowledge. So it's dangerous to operate a machine with half knowledge. Similarly, it is dangerous to manipulate the universal cosmic machine without knowing about it from the creator who created it. Where is the manual that can explain the operation of the cosmic machine? And if we get it, then we can have key to our happiness. Four defects keep us blind to the truth. What is the escape? Is there no other way other than Pratyaksha Pramana and Anuman Praman to know the complete truth that is free from all danger? There is Shabda Praman. There is Shabda Praman is also available. Shabda Praman, Evam Parampara Praptam, Imam Rajarshayo Viduhu, Bhagavad Gita 4.2. This is Parampara, Evam Parampara Praptam. This is not manufactured. just by anyone. This is given by God Himself, who is the creator, and He has given it to His disciple, who has given it to His disciple. And in the disciplic succession, it is handed over generation after generation. Example, simple example we use is, how can a child know who his father is? This is one option. This is inductive knowledge. Inductive knowledge is perform medical test, and it can take up to up to the up to un up to it will take you forever to figure out who your real father is. uh, what is the deductive method? Deductive method is just ask your mother and know who your father is. This is deductive knowledge. So this shabda praman will definitely help. So Vedas are like mother, God is supreme father. Vedas can give us GK, God knowledge, not just general knowledge. So the Vedic process of learning is like going to authorized college. Parampara is not started by anyone and everyone. There are only there are proper parampara. The parampara actually is started by God Himself, and sampradaya parampara, as it is called as, it's started by God, and it has a teacher. There's a university is equivalent of a sampradaya or a parampara. So ISKCON is part of Vaishnava Sampradaya. So it's not concocted by someone. It's not just mental creation by somebody. So Prabhupada has established ISKCON based on teachings of Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself. So it started from Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. And this has professors, the teachers. Srila Prabhupada is Adi Acharya. Sannyasis and senior devotees, they act like a teachers. Why? Because of their close association with Krishna, they've gained knowledge. They've gained knowledge not out of their own intelligence alone, but because of their close association with God. Krishna says in 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 10th verse, that Dadami buddhi yogam tvam yedamam upayantite. I give them additional intelligence by which they can come to me. so um so they, because of their close association with Krishna, they get intelligence, and then basis what we study basis the books, the Vedic texts like Bhagavad Gita. So our Vedic process of learning is based on these foundational pillars. It is not mentally concocted by somebody. Brahmaji is the first student. Brahmaji is the first living entity in the entire universe. When Brahmaji was created, Lord Krishna manifested this knowledge into his heart through Vedas. Now, this Vedic wisdom comes down in the disciplic succession through the chain of gurus from the beginning of the creation. Vyasdev, 5,000 years ago, literally, who is nothing but Krishna himself, as a literary incarnation of Krishna, recorded all the Vedas in writing for the benefit of people in Kali Yuga. The Vedic knowledge, as it is mentioned, is bifurcated into all these categories. There is a Shruti and there is Smriti. Shruti is what is heard. Smriti is what is heard, assimilated, and and reproduce basis the realizations. So Shruti is what is heard, has Vedas, the Rig Veda, Yajurveda, and Samaveda and Atharvedas. There are Upavedas like Dhanurveda and Ayurvedas, and Vedangas. Vedangas have Kalpa, Shiksha, Vyakarana, Niruktam, Chandas, and Jyotisha. Amongst the Vedas are Samhitas and Brahmanas and Aranyakas and Upanishads. So these are all different portions of Vedas. amongst the Smriti Shastra, we have Ritvik Sutras, Tantras, Pancharatras, Puranas, Itihasas, and six Darshanas. The ritual sutras are the various types of sutras are there. The tantras are there. Tamasic, Rajasic, and Sattvic tantras are there. Pancharatra is a way of worship to offer to the Lord. That's Vaishnava worship. Puranas are there, 18 major, 18 minor. Itihasas, Ramayana, Mahabharatas are called Itihasas. And six darshanas that Vedanta is there, Mimamsas are there, Nyaya is there, Vaisheshika, Yoga, and Sankhya is there. And Bhagavad Gita is part of Smriti because it's part of Itihasas. It comes in Mahabharata, but it's called Shruti also because it is directly spoken by Lord and heard by Arjuna and recorded by Vyasdev, who is nothing but Krishna himself. So Prabhupada writes in a comment that Vedic knowledge is infallible because it comes down through the perfect disciplic succession of spiritual masters, beginning with the Lord Himself. Since He spoke the first word of Vedic knowledge, the source of this knowledge is transcendental. The words spoken by the Lord are called apaurushaya, which indicates that they are not delivered by any mundane person. A living being who lives in the mundane world has four defects. He is certain to commit mistakes, he is subject to illusion, he has propensity to cheat others, and his senses are imperfect. No one with these four imperfections can deliver perfect knowledge. The Vedas are not produced by such an imperfect creature. Vedic knowledge was originally imparted by the Lord into the heart of Brahma, the first created living being, and Brahma, in his turn, disseminated this knowledge to his sons and disciples who have handed it down through the history. This is the position of Bhagavad Gita. And that's why Bhagavad Gita is relevant. Bhagavad Gita works across all countries, across all people. Anyone who apply himself to the teachings of Bhagavad Gita can get benefit of Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, for others, it remains to be a great mystery. To summarize what we discussed today, relationship between teacher and student is that of a superior subordinate nature. When required, teacher can become very serious. A fortunate student will get corrections from his teacher. This is sign of making progress on the path. Knowledge about spirit and matter, eternal, temporary, is real knowledge. What is eternal? What is temporary? What is spiritual? What is material? That is called real knowledge, and it can be obtained only in disciplic succession by studying Bhagavad Gita. Unnecessarily appreciating or lamenting for the body is a sign of lack of intelligence. Real concern should be to see what is beneficial for the soul. Shabda Praman is most perfect source of knowledge. Pratyaksha and Anuman has its limited use as well. Hence, we should accept Krishna's instructions in Bhagavad Gita, knowing him to be free from all four defect in humans as final verdict. So that is how we uh, progress, we proceed towards the on the devotional path wholeheartedly, without any doubt, knowing fully who has given it, and he has our best interest in our mind, in his mind, and with that faith we push for ourselves forward on the path of devotional service, which comprises of hearing and chanting. And the facility for hearing and chanting on Zoom is made available by devotees. We conduct a Zoom session on for japa in every morning from 4:45 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. and reading session from 8:30 p.m. till 9:15 p.m. And everyone is welcome to join these sessions. We will stop for a question and answer before we close today's session. Yes, Aswatin Prabhuji and then Gokul Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Prabhuji, thank you very much for such a divine knowledge. a true acquirer of knowledge has to have to go through all this, and this is very important. The question here, however, is that being in a materialistic world, uh, we come across lot of uh, problems, and we think those problem as a true problem, and we forget about the real aim. Now, how do we, as a common materialistic person, how do we come across such situation wherein we should try and understand that these problems are virtual problem, not real problems, and we should move towards attaining the real knowledge. So, Prabhuji, could you just summarize that on that, Prabhuji? Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Dandavat pranam.
Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much for a wonderful question. So, there will be situations in our life which will require more attention, and during those periods, the situations can change a little bit. For example, if our loved ones are critically sick, now those are the times when they will need maximum care, maximum attention, and at that time we may not be able to visit our temple. Our routine sadhana may get disturbed a little bit as we become busy taking care of those individuals. So there can be uh, a, a, a small ups and downs, but by and large we should know that these are not the uh, by and large we should have our focus clear, and when we have that, then it's easy to understand what is right, what is not right, what is should be given more important, what should be given lesser important. And it is done best in association of devotees. We should always have very close association of devotees whom we should often consult to discuss with them our life situations and seek guidance from them, to understand if we are overdoing something or if we are underdoing something. Are we neglecting something which we should not neglect, and are we over focusing on something which is not worth focusing? A devotee, just like that six blind men and one wise man, he's seeing situations from observing situation from a distance, uh, can can give us proper advice, um, and we should listen to that. So it's important to have good devotees, devotee friends in our life, devotee mentors in our life, and we should seek often their guidance uh, about our life situations, and they having gone through similar situations in past, or having guided other people who are following the similar, who are also in the similar situations, and basis the shastra, basis what Bhagavad Gita says, they will be able to guide us, and we should accept their guidance wholeheartedly. That is a easy way of rather than worrying about how I will be able to figure it out all by myself. We should rather take guidance. That will also help us make our job easy. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Raji. Gokul Praji and then Amit Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, can I ask a doubt?
Yes, Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Based on a simple thing, like since I'm new to, like after a long time, I came back to Krishna conscious. One thing I have felt like when our problems are too much, we run to Krishna asking, Krishna, you're the only one who can solve this solution, this problem, because it's not. But when it comes to the happiness state, why not only myself, but many people don't acknowledge that it was also sanctioned by Krishna. For example, when we are having so much of debts, we run to God telling we can't solve this, please find a solution. But for example, when we are getting more wealth, we try to tell we got it by our own hard work. Like the same way how we remember Lord at our harder time, how do we remember at our happiest time also, like thanking Him that it was sanctioned by Himself.
So very important point, Prabhuji, you brought. And so we said that we lament, and but do we appreciate also? So we should understand that everything comes from Krishna. if we have and everything comes with the sanction of Krishna also. So if you're if you're able to make some material progress, if you're able to make any progress in the material life, and it's because of our intelligence, we may think we are very intelligent, and but mata smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Krishna says, from me comes the intelligence, from me comes the knowledge. So knowledge, forgetfulness, and remembrance, everything comes from me. So had Krishna not been there, we would not have had any knowledge, and without knowledge, what would have been our condition? So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, that's why we should study Bhagavad Gita in association of devotees always, who will keep reminding us of our position. Just like material world, when we function in the material world help us forget our original position, and forces us to act like as if we are body. And therefore this satsanga like this, Bhagavad Gita classes, the japa sessions which we conduct, the Bhagavatam reading sessions, so we should increase our touch points with Krishna and devotees, so that we remember that all good things happening in our life also comes with the mercy of Krishna. Because this devotee association will help us remember and re-remember this fact about us, or else we may start blaming God for all the wrong and taking credit for all the right that's happening in our life. We will become very ungrateful to Krishna in that way, and we will actually go away from Krishna. So staying in association of devotees, attending all the satsangs which are available with the thanks to Zoom or electronic internet facilities, we can definitely cultivate this constant remembrance that whatever is happening, whatever we possess is due to the mercy of Krishna. Krishna can give, Krishna can take away also. And when we know that, we don't become overly proud for our achievements. And when they are gone, we don't unnecessarily lament, because they were never ours in the first place. So we we are Bhagavad Gita actually help us, studying of Bhagavad Gita help us achieve that equanimity in our life. It's not numbness. We give anesthesia to patient, and then he doesn't, even if his body is cut, he doesn't feel the pain. We don't want to become like that. But we want to be in knowledge. We want to be in knowledge. In knowledge, we should not overly become joyful when things go good for us, and we don't want to unnecessarily lament when things don't happen according to our expectation. Knowing fully who is controlling, and who the that person who is controlling has my best interest in his mind, having a faith in that help us develop tolerance in both success as well as failure. Okay, bro.
Yeah, Prabhu, I can understand. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Vijay.
Hare
Amit
Krishna.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, my question is that when we look at a given situation, then when we look at a mundane face to face, when we look at our situations, maybe it is physical, financial, anything like that. Many a times it happens that it looks like surmounting challenges. It looks like we really cannot overtake these challenges and things like that. But I personally felt that when we look at it from the lens of Bhagavad Gita, when we take it from the perspective of learning from the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, and then when we look at those situations, those surmountable challenges look like mere situations, and our perception completely changes about those situations. Now, these changes of perception which take place after learning from Bhagavad Gita, how does that really take place? Because that's been happening quite often since a few months. So, how is that changes taking place, Prabhuji? Can you please highlight deeper into that? Thank you very much, Prabhuji, full of the senses.
Hare Krishna. So that change happens. So so any our outlook towards, so the problem don't change, but our outlook changes towards the problem. So the problems will remain this will keep coming based on our karmic reactions. The problems will come, the financial problems will come, health issues will come as our age will progress, relationship issues will come as people have egos and they can't tolerate each other. So all the kind of problems will come. The floods will come, the earthquakes will come, the new viruses will come, the sickness will come, old age will come, disease will come, and death will come. It's like it's like when uh, two friends are sitting together and having a nice chat, and suddenly one friend attack other person, the other friend, um, slap him on the face. Now they are friends. In friendship, you don't. This is a sudden act which catches the other friend by surprise. So the hurt that one may feel of slap or the punch will not be so much, but the hurt that my friend has attacked me will hurt him more than actually the pain that the punch would have given him. The reality that how can my friend attack me, that itself will cause him more pain than the actual pain that he will get by that physical punch. Same situation when two enemies are sitting next to each other, and when some person attack punches the other person, it is not that the other person is not caught by surprise that time. Other person, because he knows this other person is my enemy, this can happen anytime, he is actually ready, he is actually prepared to such an event, and is prepared probably with the response also. So here the surprise element is missing. In the first situation, the surprise element is there. When you are in knowledge, you don't feel surprised by problems that may come. That itself reduce your problem to the size of 50%, much smaller than what it otherwise was. In the first case, because of that surprise element, the problem appeared to be bigger than what it was actually. In the second situation, because both knew that we are enemies of each other, and this kind of anytime the other person might attack on me, uh, there was no element of surprise. One was expecting to get attacked, and when that attack came, one was able to respond. This is a simple way in which we can put forward that when you get knowledge, then you don't get caught by surprise. When you say that when you get convinced and that how this world is dukkhalaya ashashvatam, and when you get your share of dukkha, you don't get surprise. It's not that you learn in Bhagavad Gita that dukkhalaya ashashvatam for everybody else, not for me. It's Dukhalaya Shashvatam for everyone. Even when Krishna, Lord Ram comes, he also lament. He play his part. He plays his part as a human being, and he also is subjected to misery. He faces challenges. So what to speak of us? So we will also definitely face miseries while we are present in this material world. So that element of surprise go away, and then you are actually able to respond in much quick way than otherwise. But when that element of surprise is there, you are caught by surprise. You are overwhelmed. You are overwhelmed by that aspect. How could you do this to me? And that itself suck your half of your energy, and then your response is weak. Therefore, in the first situation you struggle. In the second situation, you easily respond. This is in a very simplistic way I'm presenting that what happens when you face the same situation with knowledge and without knowledge. Hopefully, Prabhuji, this is making sense.
Yeah, Prabhuji, thank you very much. Done with now.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Yes, Madhu Mataji, you have a question.
Yes, Prabhuji, I have a question related to family. Like, I want to know is it right to expect a wealthy father to support them even from the basic needs? Is it do we need to expect them or we should not expect them from childhood? And why it is triggering every time when they spend it on materialistic rather than investing on education or any other thing, they feel it is waste of money, but they'll invest it on the materialistic lifestyle. So is it right for us to expect the father to for us, or how should we take it, and how to let go things in such cases? Prabhuji.
So, what should we expect from our parents, and what parents should expect from children? um, After learning Bhagavad Gita, without Bhagavad Gita, what you should expect? Okay, without Bhagavad Gita, you should expect a decent lifestyle, uh, a decent, comfortable, um, secured lifestyle where you as an individual can grow. You are allowed to grow in the field, chosen field that you may choose for yourself to excel. So, and you need knowledge, you need some proper examples to be set by the parents, and you need decent facility. Will you get it? Yes, you will get it as per your karma. You don't get to choose your father or mother for that matter. And the the caste, the community, the social platform where they might belong to, um, and what happens to them after that, none of those things can be chosen by you. They will be given to you according to your karma. How is your relationship with your parent is also karmic. Santati sukh is also not automatic. It is at times it is there, at times it is not there, and then you can have constant clashes with your parents. uh, but this is all life without Bhagavad Gita. If you look at the same life with Bhagavad Gita, you can have completely a different perspective. With Bhagavad Gita, when you look at your family members, you can see them also as part and parcel of Krishna. Your parents can see you as a part and parcel of Krishna, given in their custody for helping you to cultivate and develop your own Krishna consciousness, while they cultivate and develop their Krishna consciousness. So with this knowledge, the whole perspective changes. The sense of belonging, you're my father and you're my daughter, you should do things as I say because I'm saying it, all of those ego clashes just disappears. Then the whole father should become an exemplary devotee for you to follow. And children should be and that's how and he should give you sufficient knowledge and facility for practicing Krishna consciousness, along with the knowledge and facility to earn a decent material life for yourself. So the whole perspective changes with Bhagavad Gita. When we look at the same situation with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, the situation changes. But otherwise, how we if how we can let go, uh, we can let go situations with knowledge. We can tolerate situation with knowledge, because when we go to a doctor and get injected, and we because we know this is good for us, we offer ourselves to that pain, the we go through that painful experience because we know it is good for us. So we don't hold a grudge against the doctor who gave us that injection. So because we are in knowledge. So when in knowledge, but if somebody else um, comes with a nail or a needle and try poking you on the hand in the same place where the doctors are giving injections, you will not tolerate it, because this is purposeless pain is more painful. But when the same pain is given with a purpose, it becomes you can tolerate it because there is a higher reason for that pain. So letting go has to do with this aspect. Is it what is the purpose behind it? When it is when there is a higher purpose to achieve, letting go becomes easier. When there is no purpose, then letting go becomes difficult. And in our effort to pursue Krishna consciousness, to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, to read Bhagavad Gita, to attend classes, to associate with devotees, uh, this is our purpose. This is our purpose to cultivate constant remembrance of Krishna. Uh, then when we have this higher purpose, the lower things will stop mattering to us much. If we live life for the higher purpose, the lower things will eventually stop making a big difference to you. They will stop mattering to you as much as they used to otherwise. That is a sign of we progressing on the path of devotional service. But if you so we should speak with devotees more often, to understand where we stand and how we are moving. What is it that I need to do more in order to progress faster on the path of Krishna consciousness? So we should be talking to devotees. It's not a Sunday to Sunday engagement. we get many questions. We try to respond through calls or through voicemail, and that is the primary purpose for this. That we should be able to communicate throughout the week, because it's not that you will get devotional questions only on Sunday between 11 to 1. You can have those difficulties anytime, and you should be reachable. We should be available for you, accessible to you, to be able to respond to those questions. So that's how we see that letting go becomes easier if we are in association of devotees and with knowledge. Otherwise it's very difficult. Okay, so I'll suggest, if you have a specific question, we can definitely discuss it over a call. But this was my generic answer I can think of. Okay.
Okay, Chris, thank you.
Swapnil Babuji, you have one more question, or you have not lowered your hand?
No, Prabhuji, I'll contact you on the personal.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thanks.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat
Hare
pranam.
Krishna. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying back. We'll close today's session. जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई की जय, शिला प्रभुपाद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि बोल हरि बोल
Om Hare
हरे
Krishna.
कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna
Dandavat
Prabhuji.
pranam.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna,
very much.
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.